All right, good morning. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Taking a look at NQ here. So yesterday, bit of a surprising trend day move there. Most of the action coming early in the afternoon with that push up and through the 680, 700 intermediate term range high, as well as that near term range high. For today, my main focus is going to be how price responds to this key zone right through here between 680 and 700. Buyers want to see this area being defended. Again, if we zoom out, 2-hour chart displays it quite nicely. But if we zoom out here, we'll see that kind of breakout point right there near the 680, 700 zone. You also have the prior day volume point of control right in that area as well. So looking to see if buyers can kind of reclaim that 680 area up through 700 for potential retest into 760. If we continue to see some failure here, some weakness versus that 680, probability does favor this kind of push being a bit of an upthrust of this intermediate term range, and that'll kind of signal to me to be cash until at least 10 a.m. or one of these downside levels of interest is tested with some higher time frame confirmation. So that's the initial game plan on my end this morning, wanting to see again the reaction versus this zone right through here, whether or not buyers can defend that breakout point. As of right now, price is below that point, so we'll see what the open looks like. Open should bring in a bit more volume here. The data prints this morning did not give much activity, so that was not really a concern. No tradable setups that I saw anyways with those data prints. As far as the rest of this morning, we do have a 10 a.m. print, so that'll be something to look at as well. And then we do have more big earnings after the close today. So just kind of looking ahead a little bit. There's a look at your 15-minute chart with the 30-minute and hourly candles right here as well. No real signs of buying activity just yet. So I'll definitely be cautious off the open. If we start to see price reclaiming 680 and then holding, that would definitely be something that would be significant. As always, no crystal ball or anything like that. Let's see how structure actually unfolds. All right, there's the open. Market is open. We do have that small gap lower, still within the prior day's range. NQ through the overnight low there. Overnight low right near 640. Remember, following those big expansion days like we had yesterday, it's not unusual to see compression. So something to keep in mind as well. And Q trading against the overnight low currently. We've got some strength in RTY off the open there, holding the overnight low. Looks like ES just churning. NQ testing the lows there, testing session lows. There's your new low of day in NQ. Downside level of interest is at 600. $600 level of interest paired with the 50 fib. Is that for yesterday's move? I take it. My prior day volume point of control is a little different than yours. It's showing 700, but I see that high volume node right through there as well. Let's see the fib. See that fib? Yeah, there's the 50. Always nice when those fibs align with levels of interest. So just staying patient here. NQ kind of in no man's land for me, wanting to see the retest or the initial test into 600. Given time of day, I won't be in a big rush down near 600. Preference right now is to wait till 10 a.m. So very selective for the next 25 minutes. Russell continues with the strength now into prior day high. For anyone that trades or watches small caps, nice push over there. All right, NQ testing the 600 level of interest. Let's see this initial reaction here. Check out that 15-minute bar closing up in 4 minutes. No bid at 600. So you've got that key 500, 530 area. as well as the weekly volume point of control right down here near 540. So there's a failed break for the intermediate term so far. Here comes that weekly volume point of control, as well as near-term structure, volume point of control there as well. So this 500 by 540 zone definitely be important on the 15 and 30 minute charts. Only entry so far that I've seen is that reject of the overnight low. Not my play personally, but a decent setup there nonetheless. First 15-minute bar closes up here in about 25 seconds. So personally, not trying to nail the low here or anything like that. Just watching this 5-minute. Again, preferences for post 10 a.m. Want to see how market structure starts to develop now. Good to see the bounce pretty much right where we expected it. Right, take a look at that weekly volume point of control. You've got the big zone here, the 500 by 530, 540 area right through there. Remember during yesterday's stream we talked about how this area was likely the new near-term range. So I continue to see more evidence of that. RTY, a little late here. It's already into session highs, but a nice 2-hour trader entry there a moment ago. So NQ coming back into 600. Nice bounce so far. And we've got about 12 minutes till 10 a.m. So it looks like the first 5-minute green bar of the sesh there. NQ just shy of 600. Got the 50% intraday fib right there at 606 as well. So this will be a good test for buyers. And NQ, a little blip above 600 there, coming into that 50% intraday retracement. Six minutes till 10 a.m. Don't forget data at 10 here. Nice bounce so far. Pretty good. Up and through 600, coming into the 61% fib. Then you have the overnight low up there near 640. There's your 61% fib. Testing right now. I already know someone out there is trailing. Who is it? Reveal yourself. I already know it. Come clean. NQ coming into the overnight low, 640. Well, now Benny or Dom. That would have been my top two guesses, actually. It's just Christopher left then. Des, you're in there? Wow. Very nice. Off the low or the higher low is the question. Maureen got the short. Nice. That was the cleanest setup so far this morning, if you ask me. Aligned with the reason I say that is it aligned with the failed breakout directional move into 10 a.m. Very nice. So NQ just shy overnight low here. Let's see that overnight low Overnight low test as we get into 10 a.m. Buyers are looking for 600 to be holding now. Yeah, pullback near 600 would definitely be worth watching there. NQ making a push again here for the overnight low. Here comes 10 a.m. FYI, we do have a data print. 10 a.m. data. All right, there's 10 a.m. And NQ into the 78% fib right there. Just as a reference point. Next major area is the session high and VWAP up into 670. Check out that 15-minute bar. Love to see that right in the discussed area. That's the power of volume point of control right there. Weekly volume point of control as well as near-term structure. And then that big prior area of resistance now serving as support just beneath. $30-minute long tail, yeah. Got the next hourly bar as well. So let's see if price gives a new high of day to test 680. Wow, that session low was marked right at the 61% fib from the prior day as well. Fib buy zone. I think someone had mentioned that earlier. Yeah, I think Benny had mentioned that. Okay, NQ, next upside reference point here, VWAP in the session high, 670. Do we get there? Let's see. Here's a look at my morning. Just riding. Just riding that market structure. Looking for the session high. No, Benny, that was the first higher low after the low was made. So let me flip back to the chart right here. Right there where I circled on the chart. And Q just shy of the session high. Took a little more off. Yeah, I don't, on those types of trades or that type of setup, I don't like to bottom fish it. But if we see some sort of market structure after a test of a key area, those can sometimes be really nice. So NQ just shy of the high here. Session volume point of control just shifted to 650. This will be a tricky spot for buyers. Session high, VWAP, 680 level of interest. We've got that key resistance zone that we've been talking about for some time now. $680 by, oh, you can't even see that. Here we go. Squeeze that in there. There it is. So 680 by 700. Buyers are looking for a break up and through that area to keep the higher time frames in that bullish backdrop, to keep that intermediate term in that bullish backdrop. I like to see a close above 680 today. Just FYI. Near term at this point still looks pretty neutral, but we'll see what the end of the day looks like. Don't always see a V-shaped recovery like that. Look at the 5 minute. Look at the 5 minute. Yeah, it's not all that common. Just a perfect V. NQ, let's see if buyers can break the high here. Strong, you grabbed the Russell? It looked like your trade in the Russell. Oh man, you're trading the Dow? Wow. Wowzers. NQ, new high of day. Up through VWAP into 680 level of interest. Oil, he's already traded oil. Strong is no stranger to CL. He will jump in that oil trade. I don't know if he'll get in gold. TBD on that. Oh, Gateway Futures. Wow. So NQ looking at the reaction here into 680. Buyers definitely showing their strength continuing from yesterday. And we want to see if they can push up through 680 here, or if sellers start to step in this zone again. I'm still riding. Got my trail down below 650. We'll see if it gets taken out right here. Looks like it may. Was looking for that 100-point trade, but time will tell. Time will tell. So you can see sellers stepping in, attempting to step in there versus VWAP, the level of interest, session high. Now, if they fail, like if sellers fail, that would just show the strength of buyers right now. And right now, back in a VWAP, just shy of session highs. A lot of churn here. Session volume point of control now at 660. VWAP overhead, 680 level of interest overhead. Definitely a fight for price in this area. First couple of volume prints we've seen below minimum threshold there a couple minutes ago. Need to see how this little barcode resolves. NQ just shy of the highs. Still churning here. Churn, churn, churn. Let's see if we get the new high there. There's your new high of day. There's 680. Buyers looking for a break up and through 680. Again, a higher time frame close above 680 confirms the that intermediate term bullish backdrop. Personally, I'm still just sitting in this long. NQ fresh high there. Fresh high being made. Buyers trying to resolve this little barcode action up and through 680. Continues to be just a fight for price here. Some decent action so far today, but really looking at it, only a few setups. So if you're still cash, no worries. See how the morning continues to develop. I'd like to see some expansion move above 680 here, some extension. Yeah, agreed, Dom. Definitely agree with that. Another new high of day there. Drift higher. And Q coming into prior day volume point of control. It's right there at 700. Overnight gap does not fill until essentially that upside level of interest near 760. Raise my trail here to just below VWAP. Just below 70. NQ just about tested that prior day volume point of control there. 5 minute shows a doji, some indecision. NQ a little retest of VWAP there. Buyers still trying to defend the 680 area now. NQ back near the highs. A little bit of a scalp setup right there with the level of interest and the upper portion of VWAP. A little pullback there. I raised my trail to 82.5. Like to see price make a fresh high of day. There's your new high of day on NQ. So with the trail there, for me, that's a locked in 100 points. Let's see if we could keep milking this thing. $700's definitely a psychological level. With that prior day volume point of control there as well. Yeah, Dom, the tough spot to be grabbing longs, definitely. With that shallow of a pullback, buyers definitely showing their strength though. So the idea does have some merit, but psychologically that's a tricky one. Trail may get taken here. And here's the trail, just a few ticks away. Oh man, saved. Saved by a few ticks, let's see. Yeah, more of an expansion move always helpful on those. Sometimes what I'm saying is sometimes the market just doesn't give that. Like if we have a really strong tape, you're just not going to see that depth of pullback. Trail is just taken out for my long setup. I'm back to cash. Might be the only trade today. We'll see. There's the executions on the screen. I'll do a full write-up in Trade 30 for 30, but the idea there was, like we had mentioned prior to it actually happening, you did have that weekly volume point of control there, as well as the near-term structure volume point of control, and then the key area, prior area of resistance, now holding as support 500 by 530 that we've been watching for what feels like weeks and weeks now. And so again, like I said, I don't want to be a bottom fisher there, not trying to grab the low, but with some market structure, it can be a decent setup, although still a bit more aggressive just because of time of day, still before 10 a.m. In this case, good positioning for a V-shaped recovery, which of course, I have no idea it's going to happen like that. But that's the trade idea. Entry was through here. A little higher low. So at this point in the day, ideal scenario for me would be like we were just talking about, more of an expansion move, right? You get some sort of retest down into here near 680 and continue to ride for prior day high 760 area. Where's our overnight high? Overnight high is up into 790. So that's one scenario to keep in mind. And that would align nicely with the intermediate term backdrop, that bullish backdrop. Outside of that, I did like as far as trade ideas, I did like the rejection of the overnight low. Failure of overnight low, bounce, reject. And I like that idea pre 10 a.m. primarily. Catching the directional move, and the idea here is that prior breakout point has failed, this blue area. There was not really, I don't see any market structure unless we could check the micro time frame near 600. Yeah. Nothing really here to get involved with for a long setup at the level of interest. So no setup there. Then beyond that, you did have the short up here looked pretty good. It is against the current backdrop, so it's a little more aggressive. But you have a lot going for that idea. You have VWAP, the up thrust, you have the level of interest. So that's typically going to be a high quality play. In this case, it just failed. And then the little scalp opportunity through there for the brave. That's about it so far this morning. Overnight low retest was nice, but wasn't sold with 600 below. I think you have enough room there to make that one decent. How I would go about this is try and short as close as possible to the overnight low, take some off into the session low, take some off into 600, and then once 600 trades, set a trail and just try and ride as much as you can. $10.01 hammer on the overnight low. Oh, right through here. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough for me to get involved personally. I like an extension move above and then a retest. That's just my preference, though. Like at 600 this morning, you just have the barcode there. I can't personally do a lot with this because I don't want to buy the high of that structure break personally. So typically there's no trade for me there. Like you can see the distinct difference here between where I actually got involved, the little pullback, right? And then the bounce versus just that barcode action. NQ back in a VWAP here, back in a 680 level of interest. Buyers working to defend this area. Volume has really come out. Volume's kind of low now. The buyers are still responding pretty nicely to the 680. As of right now, not a ton to do. It's just a waiting game. We have Microsoft after the bell today, as well as Meta. So 2 mega cap names. That'll definitely be market moving for NQ. Tomorrow morning we have PCE. That's going to be market moving. Thursday after the close we have Apple and Amazon. That's going to be potentially market moving for NQ, right? And then Friday morning we have NFP. So a lot of pretty big catalysts coming up here to close out the week. Next week we have the election. The election night is going to be very volatile. I don't recommend trading that. I think if I remember correctly, it was 2016 or 2020. I think it was the election with Hillary. The market at one point was limit down, so it was negative 5% down, and then later that night was plus 2%. I definitely won't be staying up to trade it personally. but I would definitely, I would expect volatility. I would not suggest trading it. So just an FYI on the election night. And then I think next week or the following week after that, we have an FOMC meeting. I think is that next week? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the next week. I'd have to double check. So definitely some major catalyst coming up here. Yeah, that would be a wild stream. That would be a wild stream. I don't think I want to. Don't think I want to disrupt my sleep cycle and circadian rhythm just for that. Personally. So I'm gonna pass, but just be careful if you're trading the election night. Be careful. I don't think it's worth it personally. Got about 15 minutes till we're 90 minutes into this sesh. No updates on the current structure. NQ just has entered total barcode mode. Right here near the 680 level of interest in VWAP. Also on with the election now, you'll probably see a lot of brokers. Trade08 typically does this around those big economic prints. You'll see margin requirements massively increase. They got to cover their risk as well. So don't be surprised if your broker's emailing you saying your margin requirements up, or I wouldn't be surprised if the prop firms say you can't trade during that period. There's some things to expect around that time. I imagine by the regular open, it will have mostly settled. But that overnight action is going to be crazy, especially because liquidity is so much lower overnight. NQ, check out this 5-minute, just total barcode here. We get 2 directional moves and then just settles into nothing. Still an inside day. Got to keep some things in mind. It's still an inside day. We did have a big expansion day yesterday. So a slower session is typically going to follow a big expansion day. Big trend day move. You want to be expecting that inside day, that slower sesh. It's not a 100% thing, right? But we want to work with probabilities. A little more selling activity here in that key zone. That's 680 by 700. %61% fib at 600. Let's see. Yeah, nice. Nice. That would be pretty deep. We'll see if sellers have it in them. Here comes the first shallow fib right near session volume point of control, 660. You got the overnight low aligned with the 38% fib. 50% fib kind of by itself there. By the way, there are just 2 days left to join the November Trade 30 for 30 cohort. It is free if you are a Traders Think Tank member, but it does require active participation. It does require a daily post. Feedback has been far beyond what I expected. Very, very positive. I think a lot of people are finding some positive impact from Trade 30 for 30. So if you weren't in it for October and you want to jump in, send me a message in the Traders Think Tank. I'll get you added. If you were in October and you want to be in November, make sure you I already got a lot of people added who asked, but just to double check, you should, in the Traders Think Tank, there shouldn't be a lock next to the November cohort. So if you can click in there and access it, you've been added. If not, make sure you send me a message. Signups will close. The room will be closed on the 1st for new people. So, and there won't be one in December. Tends to be a slower month. People are traveling and stuff like that, but we'll start it back up again in January. Start the year strong. So NQ pulling back into that overnight low here. Sellers finally stepping in a bit more. $15 showing a pretty big rejection there versus 680. So it looks like that near-term range we discussed during yesterday's session is starting to pan out even more clearly, right? More market-generated information to confirm what we were seeing. And the edge points here are 680 slash 700 by 540 slash 500, just like this. Got about 7 minutes till 11. We'll see if we get any setup near 11 a.m. Then call it a morning. Good volume coming in right now. Buyers just responsive again. Very responsive. See if we get a test into 600. And about 5 minutes till 11 a.m. So responsive buyers versus the overnight low, price retesting, session volume point of control. Underside of VWAP now. 3 minutes till 11. I want to see if there's any setup near 11 a.m. See what we get near 11. And then probably time to call it a morning. How's the day for everyone? How's the morning for everyone? How we doing out there? Not very many setups so far. No entry yet. Good patience. Tremendous patience. One green trade. Very nice. Love that. Yesterday and today were snoozers. All good. Being able to just sit and not trade is powerful. It's powerful. It's a necessary skill, definitely. One trade plus green. There we go. Doesn't look like there's going to be any 11 a.m. setup based on my framework personally. Let's see though. See what we get in the next couple minutes here. One trade green, nice. A lot of one and done. A lot of one and done this morning. Same boat for me, one and done. All right, there's 11 a.m. price pretty much in no man's land for me personally between the overnight low, session volume point of control. My preference for engaging with price right now is either up through here, following some sort of extension move like we discussed earlier, down here, or down here. So if any of those three scenarios happen, I'll consider some additional trades. But till then, just working on some other things. That's a wrap for this morning. Thank you all for jumping into the stream. Appreciate you spending your morning with me. Tomorrow we should have definitely some interesting action with PCE. Then we'll be on the backside of Microsoft and Meta earnings for NQ. If you have questions, you know where to find me, and we'll keep it going, as always, in the Traders Think Tank. Thanks again for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.